Yesterday I introduced you to a hero of mine, Frank C. Laubach. His last name is spelled Laubach. And I wish I had a picture here of him with me. He is one of the most unassuming looking persons you could ever meet. He is bald except for a little bit of hair on each side of his head. He looks to be a businessman. He could be a banker. Anyone that you would meet walking up and down the streets on any given day. Unassuming in every single way, except his influence, because of his challenge for us to focus on Christ, was enormous. So let me share with you 3 affirmations that Laubach made in his life. Affirmation number 1, Christ is the hope of the world. We as Christians believe that Jesus Christ came down from heaven, lived in this world, and lived in our world, taught us and modeled for us what it was like to follow Jesus, and gave us, through his death and resurrection, grace and hope, peace and love for the future. Christ is the hope of the world. Laubach's second observation or affirmation was that few people are getting enough of Christ to save themselves or much of anyone else. Because we're so involved and engaged in everything else, we don't get enough of Jesus. And there is never too much of Jesus. We need Christ in our lives desperately. And the third observation or affirmation he makes is this: we will not become more like Christ until we give Christ more of our time. There's an idea out there that to really become proficient at some activity, you need to spend about 10,000 hours. And I don't know whether that number is accurate or not, but what the emphasis is the fact that we need to spend a lot of time. We need to invest ourselves in whatever is most important to us. What if we spent 10,000 hours in reading the Gospels, in praying, in worship, in a concentrated effort with the intention of becoming more like Christ? I think it would pay off in a great and wonderful way. In thinking about this, think about the disciples. Jesus said to the disciples, "Come, walk with me, be with me when I'm teaching and preaching and feeding the multitudes, be with me when I'm worn out and praying and sitting beside the road, and be with me when I'm playing with children." All of these things, every activity Jesus invited the disciples to be a part of. 168 hours a week. We should not marvel at these men who had spent so much time with Jesus, women and men, went out and changed the world. What is your intention? What is your purpose? Laubach recommends this: have a daily study period. 15 minutes, if you use the Pomodoro method, 25 or 30 minutes, an hour, where all you do is read and reread over and over again the gospel stories of Jesus' love. Do it every day. Dedicate that time to it. I'm a huge Baltimore Orioles fan, and I try really hard, and Austin, who's taping this, will tell you, try really hard never to miss a game on TV. And I've even had the privilege of being in Camden Yards several times. It's fun. It's valuable. I enjoy it. But it's not as important as being with Jesus. I also like mysteries and other things. Good, fun, not as important as being with Jesus. I like exercising 3 or 4 times a week. Great for my health, not as important as being with Jesus. There is nothing more important than being with Jesus. Set aside that time each day to be with Jesus. And secondly, Laubach recommends make Jesus your personal friend. And that means you can talk to Jesus like you would talk to anybody. You might even just blurt out loud, "Hey Christ, I need your help, I need your direction. I can't find my car." That happens to me all the time in the Walmart parking lot in Berlin. Can't find my car. Lord, help me find my car. And then amazingly, it's right there where I was looking. Make Jesus your very, very best friend. And there's a whole lot of things more important than Dale finding this car. And third, begin. Just begin. Don't say, "I'll do it when." Don't put it off. Don't say, "I'll do that when I have more time." Just begin. Ask for God's help. Practice it. Know that you and I are going to fail with it. Start over again. And something I want you to pay attention to is in developing habits, it's important to keep records of what we do or don't do. Because if this is a priority and we go 10, 12, 14 days never trying, how great a priority is it for us? If you keep a record, you have something or someone to be accountable to. Laubach's books are available for Kindle. I don't know that I've ever seen them in a bookstore. Letters to a Modern Mystic, The Game with Numbers. I just commend him to you as a kind, humble soul who tries to outline a practical way of following Jesus for us. Spend time with Jesus. Make him your very best friend. You'll not regret it. May God bless you.